Greetings everyone, Matt with Aegis Learning here. Welcome back to our continuing series on mentoring. As you recall, last time we discussed a little bit about the motivations for becoming a mentor and the primary focus of the mentoring process, which is developing the mentee. In this session, we're going to talk specifically about some skills that will help you be a successful mentor. Now, it's important that you have a sufficient amount of leadership skills yourself in order to effectively mentor. Now, that doesn't mean you need to be a master of all 10 competencies, but there are a few areas in which you should be proficient in order to have the best impact on the mentee. Probably very important at the top of the list is your communication skills, your ability to communicate with your mentee, and with the high focusing on listening. Remember, you're listening to validate them. You're listening to learn from them. We're not listening just to respond, but we're listening to understand. So that's a primary focus, and your ability to relate to them. That also means being empathetic. So empathy is huge, and it simply means recognizing, understanding, and validating the perspective and the emotions of other people. This becomes paramount in a mentoring relationship where you're exchanging ideas and you have a lot of trust that goes on, and a lot of things are beginning to become very personal, especially on continued development. Now, Maya Angelou, who was the mentor to Oprah Winfrey, said, in order to be a mentor, to be an effective one must care. You must care. Care about the person you're sharing with. And that's really, as we talked about previously, the focus of mentoring. Your purpose is to help them develop and become more successful. Your ability to have empathy towards them will go a long way in creating that relationship and allowing them to prosper. Another important skill would be patience. Remember, not everybody learns at the same rate that you do. You are capable of learning certain things at a different rate than other people, and you have to respect that. Sometimes, as we mentioned, the relationship is a two-way learning. There's mutual benefit, so maybe you need to be patient with your process, your progress, as well as your mentee's progress. You need to be able to coach, provide feedback, and teach. And one of the ways we do that is we share experiences. And we talked about last time, it humanizes the relationship when you share your stories, especially your failures, and how you overcame them. But it's important not to go too far and become a braggart, to start being about you. The relationship's not about you, it's about the mentee. And you always have to remember that. And that's the next thing. Being self-aware and managing your own emotional states. It's key to master yourself and be able to discipline yourself so that you're focused on developing the mentee and not so much just interacting. Finally, you have to have an important perspective, meaning you really need to be able to see the possibilities, see the potential in that mentee, see what they can become, and see what benefit they will bring to others and to the organization. Have that at the forefront of your mind all the time, and the other skills will become easier. It's easier to be patient with somebody. It's easier to listen to somebody. It's easier to communicate with somebody when you know that this process is going to make them better, because you can see what the potential outcome for them is going to be. Also, it helps to have a little workplace savvy. I know that it's important to have somebody help you navigate sometimes the structure or the environment of the organization. And that can be a huge part of mentoring, to help people maybe avoid some of the mistakes you've made in the past. Finally, to be a good mentor, you need to provide inspiration. And that doesn't mean that every time you have a mentoring session, you get up on your soapbox and you give them a locker room pep talk or something. What it actually means is be consistent in providing encouragement and positive feedback. Validate their concerns, but when they have a triumph, when they have a success, make sure that you capitalize on that. Make sure you praise them and you tell them to keep going. These are the little things that provide the inspiration for them to continue on and to continue to develop. Build that influence with them and help them develop those skills. Remember, good mentors always learn from their mentees. That even though we define it as mentor-mentee, and some people like to define these relationships, the truth is it is mutual. You are peer level, and you need to be willing to exchange ideas. So the best mentors always learn from their mentees. So, thanks for tuning in. This is Matt. Please join me next time, and we're going to discuss a little bit about the challenges of the mentoring process and how to overcome them.